Hello, Peter. What's poppin', yo? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series, which is a new 10-episode series on Disney+, which I have watched, and I'm going to be honest, it's alright. It's alright. I'm going to do a little spoiler for the review. It's alright, and I'll explain why in just a bit. But without any further delay, let's take a look at what Google has to say about this 10-episode series on Disney+, with episodes spanning between 20 and 30 minutes, so you can easily watch it within, like, 5-6 hours like I did. If you want to watch it all in one day, like I did, or if you want to stretch it out over a week, you can watch, like, one episode a day or whatever, and it'll take you, like, a week and 3 days. But, honestly, it ain't that great. The story opens up with Peter starting high school, getting bit by a spider, fighting Venom, and Doctor Strange coming to save the day. We then time skip to a little bit later, where Peter is in his homemade suit, swinging to school and, like, fighting crime. He saves Harry Osborn from being attacked by a load of thugs, and then he fights with some gangsters, and Norman Osborn hires him to be an intern. Norman Osborn then catches him being Spider-Man in the act and then decides, let's team up. So they team up, they take out Tarantula and Speed Demon, and then they upgrade his suit. They give him like 4 different variations of suits, all being really shit, and then we finally decide on the white suit. And it looks really cool, and we have a nod to the sort of Venom moment in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, and we keep going, fighting Unicorn, fighting a load of other villains, and eventually fighting Scorpion, where Norman Osborn no longer helps because he takes the earring off, and he is more concerned in finding Doc Ock, or whatever you want to call him, Dr. Otto Octavius. So, you know, we have that with Norman being a little bit of a dick and self-centered, and the side stories up until this point have been between Nova and Harry Osborn. Harry Osborn found out about Peter, and then Peter invited Harry and Nova together, and they started to get on as friends, and Harry told Nova because he thought Nova knew. They go for a driving thing, they go from hating each other to liking each other and being friends, and, you know, being Peter's friend and being there for him. The other story is with, I forgot her name, the girl and Tombstone, who sort of get together. It's Peter's childhood crush, and they get in friends with Peter, and Peter is now hanging with the popular kids and the football kids. And then Tombstone gets his brother out of being in a gang and joins the gang for himself, and ends up ditching school, ditching football, getting kicked out of all that, and joining the gang full time. And then he teams up with Spider-Man to fight Scorpion, and Tombstone gets exposed to this gas, which makes him stronger and pretty much invulnerable, and him getting, or allegedly thought to be hurt or killed, sends Spider-Man into a rage, almost killing Scorpion until Tombstone stops him. Spider-Man then makes a new outfit with Harry, which is his black and... Nope, not his black, which is his blue and red one, where he then goes to help Doctor Strange stop Norman Osborn's machine, because all the interns that have been working have made this portal into deep space, and that's where Venom comes through. Then we have Doctor Strange opening a portal, which sends them back into the past. The spider that Norman Osborn made from Spider-Man's blood to make more spider people escapes through that portal and bites Peter in the past. So technically it's a time loop, so technically it shouldn't have happened, but it does happen. It's weird, it's fucking strange, I don't get it, but fuck it, it works. And then Venom is thrown back into space, but a little bit of the black goo stays in Earth, and Norman finds it. Harry starts his own business, and that's where the season ends, left on a little bit of a cliffhanger. And I'm going to be honest, the art style of this season fucking sucks. They tried to make a 3D comic book accurate style. I fucking hate it. I think it's atrocious. I do not like how this season looks at all. The interesting take on Spider-Man, though, is really cool. It's a new origin story. It's a new style of a homemade suit, which I quite like the look of. It's quite bulky, quite goofy, and something that you could make at home, which I do like. I like it when it's more realistic and homemade, and that's what this one looks like. He's just wearing some joggers, a jersey, and a mask with some web shooters which are connected to a canister. It's very bulky, it's very big, it's very sort of homemade. It's not sleek as what a company can do, like we see with Norman and Harry's design. We then also have some more interesting villains like Tarantula, Speed Demon, Unicorn, characters that we don't normally get to see in mainstream Spider-Man. Fair enough, we do get Scorpion as like the big bad, but we don't normally get to see these characters in like Spider-Man franchises. We get to see them in like one-off episodes in like the Spider-Man TV shows, but it's not like a big bad that we get to see in like any of the Spider-Man movies. So it is really cool that we get to see them here, and they get a little bit more time to shine in a modern era of Spider-Man. His relationship between Norman is basically parallel to that of Tony Stark. This is set in an alternate dimension where, technically, it's correct, and it happens at the same time as Civil War, but instead of Tony figuring it out, it's Norman Osborn that figures it out and hires him. So it is kind of strange, and it is running parallel to the MCU, and it could also be nodded to that in Spider-Man, like, you know, Across the Spider-Verse, when Miguel says, don't make me talk about Spider-Man and Doctor Strange on Earth 1999, or whatever he fucking says, because this is also another time loop that also is strange. So we could have the multiversal break or the timeline break for obviously either of these Spider-Mans that Miguel is referring to. It's always Doctor Strange and Spider-Man who is fucking something up, not gonna lie. They always fuck something up. It is also interesting that the arms dealer in this variation, very similar to the Homecoming Spider-Man movie, is instead of being Vulture, it's Dr. Octopus, which I also feel like is really cool and really exciting, and even Iron Man comes in to help take him down. So it does still follow the MCU beats slightly, but it takes a little bit more time to develop them, a little bit more time to talk about them. Again, with it being a 10-episode series rather than a 2-hour movie, we have more time to expand on these characters, take a look at their relationship, and have them build the friendship up and build the sort of partnership up. And I'm going to be honest, Norman does try and take a lot of control of this partnership that they have, and that is a little upsetting and something that I wouldn't really want, but I feel like Pete is being forced into because he's getting all this new cool equipment, which is helping him be Spider-Man a lot better. So him having less control but him being a better Spider-Man, I feel like is him taking a fair trade, which again I don't feel like is that good for Spider-Man, but there's not a lot he can really do in this situation. It's not really up to him, it's whatever Norman is doing. The other spider suits were quite cool, I do like them. And the side characters, again, are also really interesting. They're not the regular side characters that we normally get with Gwen Stacy. We do normally get a Harry Osborn, but we get like Nova and Tombstone and Pearl, which is like 3 characters that we don't normally get to see that have now made the limelight and made it pretty much front and center in Spider-Man's friend group, and they all have superpowers as well, which is really cool, which is all teased throughout the series, but then pretty much revealed at the end. So again, it does leave a lot of hope for Season 2. The voice acting good, the voice acting is great. The voice acting good, Jesus fucking Christ. The voice acting is really good for this. It actually is really smooth, and it didn't, like, no one was really bad that it took me out of the world. So it was good in that aspect. And we also have just the animation. The animation sucked. I got used to it as I was watching it because I watched it all in one go, but I still wasn't a fan of it by the end of the season. I still thought it was quite shit. I'm happy that they tried something new, and it is something different that we haven't seen before, and it is always Spider-Man media that is trying to break the barriers of animation and always try something new, get a new style, get a new, like, mix of 3D and 2D, and they tried to do it here. It just looks really cheap. It just looks like a 3D comic book, and I don't think it translates really well. It is a cel-shaded design, and I normally do like cel-shaded designs. I love the Borderlands games and their cel-shaded designs, but this just ain't it. This just did not work for me, and if they do want to include it in the new Spider-Man movie, like Beyond the Spider-Verse, that's fair. They can go and do that. They have delayed that movie so long, so you know what? They probably have time to include this variation of Spider-Man into that movie by putting it all the way back to fucking 2029. Brother, I'm gonna be fucking 30 by the time this movie comes out. Holy fucking shit. I'm not, by the way. I'm 21 in the year of like 2025. So I turned 2022 by the end of 20. I turned 22 by the end of 2025. So do the math. I'm not gonna be that old, okay? 25 at most. I'm not doing the math right now. You guys can do the math. But yeah, the villains are really cool, they're really interesting, and I have made quite a few LEGO customs on this series, because again, it is characters which I'm not too familiar with, that I did get to learn about throughout this series and season, which is, again, really cool, just expanding on my Spider-Man knowledge. And to be fair, some of the characters, like the villains, were the villain of the episode, the villain of the week, that didn't really matter or implement the plot that much, but helped Spider-Man learn something and like uncover the mystery of Norman and Dr. Otto Octavius. But again, it's still not that exciting, so I have to give it a solid like 7 out of 10, because it does have its pros and it does have its cons. So other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. I'll see you all in the next one. Hope you all have an excellent day, and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe. If you do want me to review any other movies, TV shows, or animes, definitely do let me know down in the comments below. I'll get on it as quickly as possible. But other than that, I'll see you all in the next one, and goodbye. Oh, the intro. I didn't talk about the intro. I didn't really like it, I'm going to be honest. It wasn't catchy like the other Spider-Man intros were. It was cool. It's not going to make it to my Spotify playlist. I did like the intro animation. I thought it was alright, but it didn't hit as hard as like Spectacular Spider-Man did, because that one went fucking incredibly hard, and I don't think anything in Spider-Media can top the Spectacular Spider-Man intro. Spectacular Spider-Man.